My current theory is that the previous Ope-Ope no Mi user was forced to perform the surgery on Imu, or maybe they gave it themselves of their own free will as a punishment. They granted Imu eternal life, but with a catch, that immortality only persists as long as Imu remains within Marie Geoise. How would that even work? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The entire theory of that theory. All right? So, for a long time, right, we believe that Nefertari Vivi was targeted by Imu because of the resemblance to her ancestor, which is Nefertari Lily, possibly hinting that Imu once loved Lily, right? But now I want to take that idea a step further. What if Imu and Nefertari Lily were already in love and had a kid on the way? I enjoy seeing powerful figures operate freely without anything holding them back, bro. So this shift got me thinking, what could have happened to Imu that makes even the Gorosei this concerned? One idea I did come up with is that the immortality surgery from the Ope-Ope no Mi might come with a hidden limitation. Yes, the user sacrifices their life to grant immortality. But what if they can also impose a condition on that immortality? My current theory is that the previous Ope-Ope no Mi user was forced to perform the surgery on Imu, or maybe they gave it themselves of their own free will as a punishment. They granted Imu eternal life, but with a catch, that immortality only persists as long as Imu remains within Marie Geoise. How would that even work? Well, we know one of the Ope-Ope no Mi's core abilities is the creation of a room where the user can freely manipulate anything inside of it. What if the surgery was performed within a room established in Marie Geoise, and that room itself became the boundary of Imu's immortality? In other words, once Imu steps outside of that space, the effects of the surgery no longer apply. So, this idea actually lines up with a broader pattern of limitations placed on the world government throughout history. For example, the red line may have been created to restrict the first world's government from easily conquering everything. Similarly, the calm belt, potentially created by the previous Poseidon, could have been another measure to limit the reach by filling it with sea kings. These are theories, of course, but they follow a consistent theme. Even the most powerful forces in the world are subject to restrictions. If the Gorosei are aware of this limitation, it says a lot. It highlights just how much Imu may rely on them, but also how dangerous that knowledge is. It creates a dynamic where Imu must maintain absolute control and instill fear, because even those closest to them hold information that could be catastrophic if mishandled. So, I'll get into another aspect of my disappointment with Imu later on in the chapter, but
I really do like it.
Tell me a pushback, because I might have missed something.
No, I really like it because it gives... So I just talked earlier about like the lived world of One Piece and everybody having their own ambitions and missions and thought processes and agency, etc. This would tell me that whoever that previous surgery person was still did a big F you to Imu. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll do this, but on my terms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something to, some last ditch effort to try to limit Imu in some way. And I kind of like that. My question is, if that's the case, how do you explain this, like the Gorosei leaving in the way they did, or the like, because they're seemingly also immortal and tied to some sort of connection to this person. Mm-hmm. How are they able to leave and not have any residual or effects from being down in the lower worlds?
Because I think their powers come from Imu directly, whereas the immortality surgery was given to Imu.
Okay.
So Imu's power doesn't probably grant him that immortality because he could give it to others, but it's through if only he lives.
Okay. And you're saying it's Marie Geoise as a whole, like not specifically an area or just like...
I mean, we saw what Room was capable of on Punk Hazard and how Law did it, and that was before he mastered it and awakened it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go as far as Lawrence's Room around the world, but I will say...
It could be
pretty large, but it's probably on the red line itself.
A red line itself?
No, well, that specific area.
Okay.
Sorry, that specific area, yeah.
Okay. I like it. I don't have real pushback. I was just wondering about that one piece of it in terms of, like, other people have been able to leave and seemingly were unaffected.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Cut
Again, I
it,
just like
cut it.
agency. Yeah, I like
I
the
feel like
agency.
Lawrence likes it.
No, sorry. It's funny because honestly, this is what I was hinting to. I thought you're gonna go. No, it's funny you went to it more because I think the end of it actually adds more to it. But I was actually thinking the same exact thing you were
That's
thinking,
crazy.
and I was gonna add the end of it from what we saw as not a tie-in or more like a tie-in, but not a proof to it. But like, yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing because the words here, what they were saying, and especially at the end of the chapter, what we've seen, I noticed something. I'm pretty sure everyone's noticed it too. But it's like, huh. So I was in the same line of thought that you were thinking about here too.
Keep a note of it to bring it up later.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets interesting. The entire theory of that theory. All right? So, for a long time, right, we believe that Nefertari Vivi was targeted by Imu because of the resemblance to her ancestor, which is Nefertari Lily, possibly hinting that Imu once loved Lily, right? But now I want to take that idea a step further. What if Imu and Nefertari Lily were already in love and had a kid on the way? Hear me out, yo. Just give me a second to cook. Imagine this, right? The rise of the ancient kingdom and its possessions of the ancient weapons created fear across the world, pushing kingdoms like Alabasta to join an alliance against it. During this time, Lily and Imu were together, and Lily became pregnant with Imu's child. However, everything changed when Lily witnessed something horrific Imu had done, perhaps the destruction of the Lunarians. Lily then decided to hide her pregnancy before she could tell Imu about it. Shaken, Lily encounters Joyboy, who reveals the true purpose of the ancient weapons. That revelation completely shifts her worldview. Now torn between love and morality, Lily chooses to stand against Imu to protect the world, but maintains the facade of remaining loyal to the alliance. In the end, Lily and Joyboy fail. In response, Imu destroys the ancient kingdom, unable to accept that Lily would betray him of her own free will, believing instead that she was manipulated by Joyboy and locks her up in Marie Geoise. Meanwhile, figures like Davy Jones, aware of Imu's existence, place the blame on Joyboy, giving rise to his reputation as a god of destruction, from where other people have viewed the Nika fruit users being. Before everything is erased, Lily somehow sets critical plans into motion from her jail cell. She ensures the creation and distribution of the poneglyphs to preserve the truth about the ancient weapons and the Void Century. Joyboy travels to Elbaf, entrusting the ancient giant shipwrights, possibly predecessors of or the current galley law giants frozen on Punk Hazard, to hide Pluton in Wano. Joyboy also sends an apology to the fishman, acknowledging his failure to fulfill his promise involving the Noah, along with a road poneglyph. Then comes out the most crucial piece of this theory. Lily secretly gives birth to the child she conceived with Imu. Knowing the danger Imu poses, she sends the baby back to Alabasta with a letter to her brother. In that letter, she reveals the truth. Imu sits upon the empty throne and is the father of the child. This is Lily's greatest mistake from 800 years ago. Not just scattering the poneglyphs, but sending her child away too. Imu never knew he had a child. However, he was aware that Lily sent a letter along with a baby back to Alabasta. The key detail that confirmed her betrayal to him was the signature. Lily signed her name with the initial D in her name. That single letter revealed everything. That she had fully turned against him of her own free will and wasn't manipulated. Imu, in a fit of anger, goes to murder his love. But before he does, Lily reveals she is the devil fruit user of the Ope-Ope no Mi and proceeds to grant Imu immortality, but with a limitation that binds him to the red line, causing him to suffer for all eternity until Nika is said to come back. Lily ultimately dies as a result of the operation. This would explain Imu's reaction when Cobra was asked to say Lily's full name. And then in that very next moment, Cobra spoke. He shot an arrow through Cobra's chest out of anger. And then when Imu finally saw Vivi for the first time, everything clicked. Her striking resemblance to Lily wasn't just coincidence, it was confirmation. To Imu, Vivi isn't just a descendant of Nefertari Lily. She could be the living proof of their lost child passed down through 800 years. In his mind, there's no other possibility. Lily never loved anyone else, and she never returned to Elbaf because she was locked up, which means Vivi just isn't connected to Lily. She may directly be tied to Imu as a descendant. It's a lot of speculation.
No, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Have you seen one battle after another?
I tried.
Okay.
I saw like 30 minutes of it.
Okay. The ending of that just reminded me of that movie. But basically, this is Imu trying to get a paternity test. I need to know if that's my baby. If that was my baby.
That's my baby.
Okay, so I really like parts of it.
Yeah.
I really like Lily being the person that did the what you just tied in with the doing the immortality surgery because of their lost love and whatever she had gone through in terms of him.
Yeah.
The child, my question just went to who would the child be?
Mm-hmm.
Like specifically, is it just an offspring that is descendants and all this to Lily, or is there another person in this lore that fills that gap as well? I thought of Game of Thrones with Jon Snow, and essentially Lyanna Stark saying, like, promise me, Ned, to take care of my child. I thought that was like a nice little nod to that. I don't know if you did that intentionally or not, but I just thought of that moment. They said the Mori fruit. I like it. So we've always talked about the love triangle, but if there was just genuine love between them, and then you find out that the person you loved is actually an egomaniacal maniac, like some kind of crazy person doing something wild like this, mass genocides or whatever Imu was doing at the time, how would Lily react? How would she react if this is you're uncovering the truth about the person that you love? And it reminds me of another movie that I just watched. Have you seen the drama yet? No? Watch the drama. It's very interesting. I'll say that. I don't have real pushback.
Yeah.
Other than I don't know that it's the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put a baby in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I like it.
And it follows the suit of so many, like, mothers dying after giving birth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's wild, too, because in that same vein,
this baby essentially would be a descendant of Imu, that's what I'm saying, and Lily.
Yeah.
And that's why she looks like her.
Yeah. And then I guess my question would be, and not so much a question, it'd just be interesting that you just said, all these mothers have passed after, like, shortly after giving birth and things like that in One Piece. Like, mothers don't last long. And then in this case, she had the ability, like, she had this operation ability. Like, she had the ability to grant immortality, but she can't use it on herself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think that's interesting. Just in general, my fault, bro. My fault about not watching Hunter x Hunter. They're killing me for this. I lost my train of thought, so I'll stop. I'll let the twins.
It was a very interesting theory. I'm so curious about, like, the baby aspect of it. I can't give out too much information because I gotta wait till a little bit at the end because of my thoughts on the end of what that could mean for the baby. Mm-hmm. You know, but also too, I guess my question is, what about I guess Lily's brother? You know, So it was given to, I guess the baby was given to Lily's brother. All right. Yeah. So then I'm trying to think. All right, because like we know Lily's through the line, like she's the princess. So how does that relate to the baby and Lily's brother? Because if he's the one that took over Alabasta now, his line will be the one ruling. Yeah. So then, where does that leave the baby between Imu and?
It could be kept secret as like he took her as a daughter and just said like, yo, she's a daughter. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Jon Snow, bro.
Or it could have been a guy. Like it could have been a guy baby, too. Mm-hmm. It could have been either or. This is just a descendant of Lily and Imu. So it was kept secret because we never got the full scope of what was in the note. We just know that her brother became the king of Alabasta, and that was it. And there was never said that there was a baby attached to the note, but you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the only hole you could point in it. Everything else it just had, you know.
Would she have given it to Joy Boy instead, the baby?
No, because they knew that Joy Boy was going to pass soon. Yeah. And they most likely knew the truth of the world, like you guys told. So it's like they knew that this was going to happen in the future eventually. But Anyway, I'll continue forward because I have something I want to talk about with Fate, and it's crazy.